So this is going to be a bit of a different type of review. My apartment complex has been undergoing some construction now for quite some time, a little around 2 months, and while it was supposed to be finished up sometime this week, it's not looking like that's the case. And I'm sick of not talking about movies, so let's get down to the chase here. So hopefully you won't mind the change too much for these next couple of videos, and eventually you can get back to staring at my beautiful face while I talk about movies. I do prefer it that way because I feel like it might come across as more genuine when I talk about a film in that particular style. You can see on my face, you can see the reactions I might have had when watching that movie, and I just feel like it's a little more personal that way. But if we have to talk about movies this way, we have to talk about movies this way. At least we are doing it, which is the important part. So this week, we're talking about a movie that has been remade 3 times. This is the 4th iteration of this film. It is a tried and true Hollywood story. The original movie, made in 1937, is, by many people's accounts, a remake of What Price Hollywood. Now, some people say it isn't, some people say it is. I'm going to be honest, I haven't seen either What Price Hollywood or any other version of this particular movie except the one I'm talking about today. That's right, we're talking about the movie with Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. We're talking about A Star Is Born.
Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Maybe it's time to let the old ways die. Takes a lot to change, man. Hell, it takes a lot to try.
You know, man, in the old days, I always knew, like, you were gonna do something, that you'd be all right. It's the first time I'm worried about you.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Okay.
Tell me something, girl.
Do you write songs or anything?
I don't sing my own songs.
Why?
I just don't feel comfortable.
Why wouldn't you feel comfortable?
Almost every single person has told me they liked the way I sounded, but that they didn't like the way I look.
I think you're beautiful.
I'm falling.
Hey,
What?
I just want to take another look at you.
In all the good times, I find myself longing for change.
Here's what we're gonna do.
You come sing that song that I love.
No, I can't do that.
Here we go.
It's not funny. Jack.
Look at me. All you gotta do is trust me. That's all you gotta do.
A Star Is Born is directed by Bradley Cooper and stars Lady Gaga, Bradley Cooper, Andrew Dice Clay, Dave Chappelle, and Sam Elliot. And the movie is written by Eric Roth, Bradley Cooper, and Will Fetters. The main thing about this movie, the main thing I like so much about this film is indeed the performances. Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga are very good in this movie, as well as Sam Elliot has some very good scenes, and Dave Chappelle, who I'm gonna be honest with you, is not in the movie as much as the marketing may lead on. He also puts on a pretty good performance in the small part he is in the film. Now, Bradley Cooper is very good in the movie, and he is definitely, he describes himself as giving, as sort of seeking inspiration from Eddie Vedder from Pearl Jam, and I definitely can see that inspiration. He is definitely a more troubled soul in this film, and he puts that off very well. I know that in the past, Bradley Cooper has had issues with substance abuse, and he is some years sober, and I imagine this would have been a very hard role for him to perform again, just to go down those depths that he has been at previously. And I applaud him for putting on such a great performance while also directing the film and being that I imagine it's such a personal performance to him. Now, I do think that the true star of this movie, as some would say, the true star that is born indeed, is Lady Gaga. She is incredible in this movie. I have not seen much of her acting career. I know that she has acted in American Horror Story, I believe it was American Horror Story Hotel, and that was after I stopped watching that show, so I honestly haven't seen much of her acting career. I know she won a Golden Globe, but that leads into an entirely different conversation about the Golden Globes, that's for sure. But she is spellbinding in this movie. Everything that she does, I totally believe in, and it's not just her singing, which we will get to, because, I mean, I'm a huge Lady Gaga fan. She is an incredible musician. Every time she sings, I'm just captivated. I might not even prefer her song very much. I might not like the song, but her talent can't be argued. She is incredible. But in this film, she is very good, and she has some brilliantly subtle moments, which is not something you would describe Lady Gaga by previously. A lot of people would say that Lady Gaga is not a subtle person, but that is the beauty of her as an actor. She can, and we have seen it now in A Star is Born, she can reach those depths and truly embody a character. And while this movie does play into her specific strengths as a musician and as someone who she would describe her own self, her personal self, as being a very shy person, and how this would definitely play into a certain strengths, I feel like a movie that is this personal for both her and Cooper would have been an interesting and heartfelt and very trying time to film. And I'm incredibly impressed by both of their performances. Now, one of the most important things in a movie like this is obviously going to be the chemistry between the two leads. Given that the movie is a romantic movie, that the characters do have a romance that blossoms, that is so incredibly important. And a lot of people were concerned about the two leads' chemistry. But honestly, from the first trailer, I had thought that they had this chemistry. And watching the movie, it is palpable. You can feel it. Their chemistry is electric. From the moment they are on the screen together until the end of the film, their chemistry is just energetic. You can feel it. It's instant and it's perfect. And now seeing through interviews that they're such good friends, it makes perfect sense, because honestly, it looks like they had really gotten to know each other so well in this movie. You can tell at times that the feelings they're feeling for each other, the actual caring for each other, is not really acting. Their chemistry is so instant, and I can't stress enough how much I bought into their relationship just based off of that chemistry and their performances with each other and the way that they work off of each other. Now, I do want to move into Bradley Cooper's direction, because Bradley Cooper exhibits such deft direction with this film. He has such incredible directorial style in his feature film directorial debut here. This movie is brilliantly directed from a style standpoint, and at times it can feel like a music video. It can you're blown away by the concert direction in the film, and it definitely has an incredible clear vision, at least in the first half of the film. The cinematography by Matthew Libatique is also quite great, and the concert scenes feel so incredibly real, and the direction by Cooper to make certain scenes feel very music video-y really brings out the emotion of every scene. There are some incredible close-up shots in this movie, some incredible camera work that really showcases the performances and how into it the actors are into singing the music and to actually be performing the music, because that was something that Lady Gaga was so inclined to do, and she came to Bradley and said they had to do all of the performances live, which I really, really respect, because it shows. To me, I've loved some musicals in the past where the music is performed beforehand and recorded, and then the actors are lip syncing to the music. That's perfectly fine for me, but I do prefer it when the music is sung live. I think it adds a level of attention, and it adds a level of energy to the film. It really can showcase in the performances when the actors can truly get into the roles. And I think that might be the theater nerd in me who really appreciates singing and acting live. And while I talked about Bradley Cooper's directorial style and how I'm very impressed by his directorial debut, I do have some issues with the film. And while the story is incredibly gripping in the first half, and the directorial style is so clear in the first half, I feel like the movie loses focus and pace slightly in the second half. The first half of the film is so electric and exciting that the second half of the film just tends to feel formulaic when it doesn't follow that same energy. The second half of the film I felt definitely lost focus, and that's where I started to feel the weight of the film and the length of the film. Eventually, when the second half of the movie comes and they have to montage through events in a more laborious way, it sort of feels like they're just checking off boxes, and some of the actions can feel like contrivances. While I don't think the whole movie felt that way, I do feel like there are one or two specific plot points that felt a little contrived to me. And the ending of the movie didn't necessarily pack that impactful punch that I think was intended. I was so invested in the first half of this film that I did lose a little bit of investment in the second half. Now, that doesn't mean I don't like the movie, because most of this movie is stellar. But there are a few aspects of the film, and there are a few parts of the film that I definitely think lost focus for me. I can't end this review without talking a little more in depth about the music. There are times in this movie where the music gave me actual goosebumps. I remember sitting in the theater right next to my wife and actually feeling goosebumps, feeling this movie have a physical effect on me. It had both a physical and an emotional effect on me. There's a particular moment showcased in the trailers, but there's a particular moment where Lady Gaga comes onto the stage to sing Shallow, and throughout that entire song, my body had goosebumps. I felt the moment in the film, and that to me was the ultimate culmination of Bradley Cooper's style and the performances. To truly felt everything that Bradley wanted me to feel in that moment. I do have an incredible amount of respect for this movie's screenplay and for the story that the movie wanted to tell, because a lesser filmmaker could have gone in multiple different directions. And while watching the film, I thought this movie would go into other directions that I didn't think would make such as compelling of a story. And every time it turned away from those lesser story beats and focused on what it needed to focus on, which I felt was the two characters at the lead. I'm highly impressed by Bradley Cooper's directorial debut in A Star is Born and Lady Gaga's feature film debut. This movie is definitely one that I will add to a Blu-ray collection in the future. It helps that my wife loved it so much, but it's definitely a movie that I would love to watch again and again. And Lady Gaga's performance is definitely going to have me coming back. I had already purchased the soundtrack just due to her incredible vocals, but also due to Bradley Cooper's incredible vocals as well. He does such a good job for a man not known for music ability. You could tell he definitely worked hard on this movie. I'm very glad to give this movie an 8 out of 10. And I could definitely say that I think this movie is going to receive some Academy Award nominations. I'm not ready to say that this is going to get a Best Picture nomination, and I wouldn't be surprised if Lady Gaga got a nomination for her performance. She's very good in the movie, and I could definitely see how she would deserve it. Thank you for checking out this review. I'm sorry for having a different kind of video here, but I wanted to get my thoughts out on this movie, as well as some other movies that'll be coming out here in the near future. If you checked out A Star is Born, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments section. Don't forget to like and subscribe and to hit that notification button. Thank you so much for coming by, and make sure to check out all of our awesome content here at Razzle. Follow me on Twitter at I am Mourar. Follow Razzle on Twitter at Razzle Review, and thanks for watching.